Back in 1974, the first ever Givenchy Gentleman was launched, but fast forward to 2023, and now we've got the Society to explore. So I'm going to be talking you through the overall experience, my thought on the scents, and how it compares to the other Gentlemen's in the collection. So let's start with the box. Looking at this is fully recyclable, which is always good, and you've got a QR code as well. So here it is, Givenchy Gentleman Society. First impressions of this bottle, I do love the black lacquered effect. It's, if you can see, it's probably really hard, but it's painted from inside, and I love how it looks like it's sort of a black juice sort of hanging in the bottle, but it's not. I think it's a really cool, I love the block color effect. And you've got the chrome sort of 4G design as well, which adds an extra luxe, more updated sort of look to this bottle when you look at them compared to the other Givenchy Gentleman bottles. So this isn't just a 4G update for Givenchy. It's actually inspired by the Givenchy Love Lock, which Matthew Williams debuted for his collection on the runway. So it's nice that you've got a piece of designer luxury at home to keep. With Givenchy being under the creative design of Matthew Williams, it's kind of dark, grungy, and I do see elements of this with the black bottle. I love that you've also got the 4G on the cap, which feels extra luxe. So I'm going to talk you through how it envelops and what notes that I smell. So instantly, I think it smells like a cosmetic powder room with almost like sharp facets, a little bit leathery. It's hot and cold at the same time, which is really interesting, but that's got to do with, I think, the composition and how they've blended it. From my first impressions, this smells like the Givenchy Gentleman EDT Intense. I'm also getting a bit of Prada Le Homme and a little bit of Valentino Uomo as well. So if you've smelt those fragrances, you'll know that powdery iris note and the clean cut sort of sharp suit, leather shoes vibe that this is giving. So when reviewing the note structure, they weren't sort of simplistic notes. I did notice that they seem to be sourced from all over the world, and there's a few organic notes in there as well. So you've got sage and cardamom in the top. Then you've got 3 types of vetiver and narcissus in the heart, which is actually daffodil. Then moving on to the base, you've got a duo of wood, sandalwood and cedarwood, and then a touch of vanilla to sweeten things up. And the top notes are sage and cardamom. So together, very aromatic, a real subtle spice from the cardamom, but the sage is almost like a real green, cool wave that washes over it just to give it that subtleness. The heart notes, again, no iris in sight. Narcissus, and also they've used 3 types of vetiver, which is quite interesting, as traditionally I find vetiver quite green and quite cool, but this is not giving me vetiver, so like soul vetiver vibes, considering there's 3 types used. It's still very powdery, sophisticated, quite clean cut. Then in the base, you've got a duo of woods, sandalwood and cedarwood, which kind of give it that smooth, warm, dry down, and then a touch of vanilla to sweeten things up. So what I like about this is it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's actually really masculine. If you boil down the fragrance notes and see what it is, it can be worn by anyone, and it's got both of those notes kind of like contrast each other to create something that's really beautifully unisex. So over the years, there's been quite a few evolutions of the Givenchy Gentleman. I remember Simon Barker. When I first joined, I absolutely loved him being the face. We've seen Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Recently, we've seen Givenchy go back to their heritage and put Hubert Givenchy as the face, which I also loved as well because he is the initial gentleman. And then for the new chapter, we've got Benjamin Clementine, who is an up-and-coming artist who is the new face of this. And I do love the energy and sort of creativity that he brings to this fragrance. He absolutely embodies everything that, you know, Givenchy Gentleman should be. Whereas Givenchy Gentleman previously has been quite singular. Society represents a group, a movement, something to be a part of, which I quite like for a luxury brand. It's making luxury more accessible to everyone, and fair play, I'm impressed. Obviously I am a female and I'm reviewing this from my perspective because scent technically has no gender. But when asking sort of a few gentlemen around the office where they'd wear this, they definitely said it's a day fragrance for them. They love it for the office. but they just add a few more sprays extra in the evening. In terms of season, I think it's perfect for any season. It's really wearable. It's kind of timeless really, with that iris powdery sophistication. It's not hot, it's not cold. I think it will go really well within the seasons. How long this would last? I would say on me it's about 4 to 5 hours. I sprayed it this morning at 8 o'clock and it's what, 2:30? I can still smell it, the longevity's still there. So it does compare to an average longevity of an eau de parfum. I'll be really honest, I've not had anyone say they could smell me, so I think it's going to be one of more of an intimate fragrance if you're giving someone a hug or maybe in a car with someone. That's the type of sillage you'll get from this. It's cool to see that Givenchy are also keeping up the times and trying to be a bit more sustainable. In terms of the bottle, it's actually made from 15% post-recycled glass. So don't get me wrong, there's a lot of work to do, but it's nice to see that the brand has taken this step. So for me, Givenchy Gentleman is definitely a male fragrance to discover for 2023. If you love the sort of suave, sophisticated sense of Valentino Uomo and Roi de la Homme, this should be next on your list.